Hello everybody, I know that I'm not really known for doing YouTube stuff, but I figured that I would try it out and see how it goes. So today I wanted to bring you a kind of a deck that I wanted to put out on the budget blog, but didn't get the chance to because one of the cards got bought out and came back on the market for $32. So that was not exactly doable. This is Mystic Knights, based on this thing. So I'll just jump right into the list, and afterward I will tell you stuff that I might change, where I think the deck can go, and things to look out for in the future. 4 copies of Magic Singular Sync, and then 4 copies of Magic Basis Asagi are the main 2 things. So personally, I have Asagi as my buddy, but you could play Sync conceivably. Really though, Sync as the buddy is kind of a waste of money because you're going to be calling these just about every game anyway, and, you know, Sync is 6 per case, so please save some for other people. Asagi is your guard cap for the deck, you know, charge and draw when she's placed and you have another Mystic Knight on your board, and then Sync is 2 gauge, top deck soul guard twice. When you cast a fire spell for this turn, all Mystic Knights on your board get +3/+3. And beginning of your attack phase, if he is 12k power or greater, all Mystic Knights on your board get double attack. Really good card and really funky in combination with some other stuff. There is a new one coming out in the Climax booster that has like counterattack, which is very funny in my opinion. But for now, he's the only one that we have. Otherwise, we have 4 copies of Magic Guitarist Hisui. When he attacks, drop the top card of your deck, and if it's a fire, put it into your hand. By the way, every single Mystic Knight is a fire, and Hisui can let you add this to your hand. Now, of course, the question of card quality is dubious, but free cards are free cards, and free burn damage is free burn damage. Now, if you give him double attack with Sync, he's going to give you the possibility to draw 2 cards and burn your opponent for 2, which is, of course, really good because drawing 2 cards is drawing 2 cards. And it gets even funnier with Magic Keyboardist Shion. Start of your attack phase, if his power is 9,000 or greater, he gets +2 crit, so he becomes a 3 crit monster, and counteract standing Mystic Knight with 9,000 power or greater on your field, once per turn. So essentially, you'll be able to make Hisui attack 3 times with the possibility to burn your opponent each time and draw you a card. Now, the next 2 cards are Magic Manipulator Knight and Magic Violinist Gray. I'm not sure on the quantities of these that I want to run, still kind of in the works there and up in the air. Knight, start of your attack phase, 6,000 power or greater, +1 crit to all your Mystic Knights, and then all Mystic Knights on your field cannot be destroyed and their abilities cannot be nullified by your opponent's card effects. Gray, when he enters the field, top deck a gauge, and if his power is 9,000 or greater, you nullify the abilities of all monsters that your opponent controls that battle with this card. So you can nullify Soul Guard, Penetrate, stuff like that. So both really good cards, but I am not sure how many I want to run because I like room for some tech, but who knows. I think that what I might do is like side the other 2 Knight or something. Still up in the air. So in terms of spells, Gyakuren, the drummer. I don't run him. I don't think that I would say that he's worth running across the entire 60 cards, just because, you know, Penetrate is not all that meaningful these days, since like half the cards nullify Penetrate, and even if they didn't, they can not really easily be beaten over by the Bummer Drummer. I'd say pick him up at least. He's a common, so you might as well, but I don't think that I will play him at all. So, spells. We have 4 Droplets of Temptation. Pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life, add a Sync and a Mystic Knight item from your deck to your hand, up to 1 for both. Shuffle your deck. Card once per turn. I don't think that I'll run any less than 4 of this. Search your Sync. You want to run as many of those as possible. Currently, we can only run a total of 8 between drops and the actual card. I think that 10 is probably what I'd top out at when the new one comes out, but that will be up to testing. Otherwise, we have 3 Flame of Memories. Pay 1 gauge, drop a Mystic Knight from your hand, draw 3. Hard once per turn. Only run 3 because it's hard once per turn, and you're going to be digging for 3 cards. So it's kind of a waste to run 4, plus text-based and whatnot. 3 is enough to see it frequently enough. Next, we have a 4 of, which is Wings of Revolt. Draw a card, and then choose and use one of the following 2. For this turn, all Mystic Knights get plus 6,000 power, and for this turn, all Mystic Knights get plus 6,000 defense. So the defense part is at counter speed, and this card is hard once per turn, but that's fine because it's counter speed. Really, it does everything that you want it to do. Excellent card. I don't think that would run any less than 4. Next, 3 Deep Blaze Singularity. It's, I don't like this card a whole lot, really. It's a decent thing, but, you know, Magic World has some better control options, like opponent's turn control options than this. Pay 1 gauge, nullify the attack, and then if you have a Mystic Knight on your board, for this turn, all cards in your opponent's field get minus 3,000 power. It could be worse, it could be better. At least it's an attack null, I guess. Next up, 3 Revolution of Red. I'm running 3, I might run 4. 2 is the absolute lowest that I would go. Basically, counter speed, pop up to 2 cards on your opponent's board. Regular cost is pay 5 gauge, but it's reduced by 1 for each fire in your drop zone, so it gets very cheap very quickly. Counter speed removal, excellent choice, but it can clog if you run too many, which is why I'm still not sure about the quantity that I want to run. Next up, 2 Flame Quartet. This is another thing that I'm not sure about. You could run more, but it recurs itself. It's that thing that a bunch of decks are getting these days where you like top deck 2 gauge and gain 2 life and then draw a card. Only this one doesn't let you draw a card. Instead, it just lets you bring it back to your hand by dropping a card at the beginning of your main phase. Very decent card. It is an outright +1, and you can get it back at any time, but I don't think it's really worth running at 4, because that's, again, more space that you can use to run other things. Next, we have the generic spells. 2, nice one, because there was not enough space for me to run 3 without going over 50 cards, which I'll talk about in a minute. 2 of each spell circle, so Spell Circle of Deity Dragon and Spell Circle of Reservoir. These are both, I don't think that I would ever play a Magic deck without 2 of each, at least. If you don't know, Spell Circle of Deity Dragon, the part where it says, start of your opponent's turn, get back a spell from your drop zone, drop a hand card, that's generic. And then Spell Circle of Reservoir, you cast a spell, put the top card of your deck into your gauge, and for this turn, a card in your opponent's field gets -2, -2, -1. So 2,000 power, 2,000 defense, and 1 crit. Both of these are hard set, so once you get one, you can't really set another, which is really, I respect that, thank you Bushiroad. Which is why I only run 2. I don't think I would run less than 2. Don't think I would really run more either, though. So, you know, you could run more if you wanted, but it kind of clogs, you know. Finally, for the generic spells, we have 3 Terukai. It's a good card. Pay 1 gauge, pay 1 life to rest up to 2 cards in your opponent's field. That's how this card reads. Solomon's Wall and Magical Glue can probably do a similar job, but really, Terukale in combination with Spell Circle of Deity Dragon is kind of, frankly, disgusting. So that's why I suggest running Telkare in every deck. It is, of course, hard once per turn, thankfully, which is why I only run 3, because once you see 1 or 2, you're realistically good for the rest of the game. So, yeah. That's it for the generic spells. Finally, 2 Magic Guitar Kinari. Its power is 7,000 or greater, its attacks can't be nullified, and it gains 1 crit. Also, if you have a Mystic Knight in your center, it can attack through it. It's an okay item, free equip cost is nice, and it's searchable, which is why I only run 2, because if you run 4, you kind of run out of some space, and you really don't need to see it more than once. Barely even need to see it more than... You don't really even need to see it once, sometimes. So, I only run 2. Other considerations. You could probably play Lost World in this, Time Sale, Lost World, Time Sale, Warrior. When it comes out, Holy Magic is really good. It almost single-handedly fixes the deck. Fake Out, I believe, is the name of the spell that's impossible to find, the attack null. And then when the stuff comes out, obviously the new sync will be really good. Holy Magic, as I mentioned, I don't know when we're getting that. I hope we get it soon, because it is a really good card and I need 3, if not 6. You know, just some generic Magic World stuff, like I would say for any other deck. You could consider Sephiroth's Lectures, but it's kind of hard to fit, and it's it's a good card, but it just, you know, Mystic Knights are really starved for space, so they can't really manage it, in my opinion. If you wanted to go over 50, you could easily do it, and I would say you're fine. I just like to stick to 50 if I can. I think that I might go up to 52, though, to fit, like, the third nice one and maybe a copy of Sephiroth's or something. That's about it for this video, though. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to get in touch with me or support me, you can find links to Ko-fi, Twitter, Discord, and maybe Facebook in my description below. That should be about it, and I will see you guys next time.